sitting here in Singapore, I'm reading, what all my team, and I thought they did a super job. And then I get this SMS from a friend in KL. He said, you better prepare for a really nasty surprise. So I said, why? And he said, Najib's campaign is imploding. So I SMS him back. I said, what do you mean, imploding? And then he said, he's not winning the Malays back. So I thought, wow, okay, that's quite serious. So I said, what's the problem? And then comes this question, just not connecting, his campaign is being rejected. So I actually was fearing the worst. So my question to all of you is, how come my worst fears didn't materialize? How come I was relieved? I was personally relieved. I saw it, I said, I prefer stability. I thought, wow. So when I saw the result, I'm watching it, and I could see that PM, sort of was ahead, and Pakistan was not catching up. I thought, okay. So my question really is, you all were very critical about corruption, no connection, this, that, and the other, but they won.
Did they?
So now you're saying they haven't won.
Popular
vote. No. Hold on. So the question is, okay, that's the important point. If you don't win the popular vote, but you win the majority of the seats, okay? You win. Obama didn't get popular vote, no. But you might, this is the system. So my worry was not just popular vote. My worry was, I thought he was going to lose seats. I knew that Johor Ketiam was going to wipe Ghani out. I thought, my God, they're going to lose Johor. So I was really beginning to worry. But it didn't happen. Johor stayed in. Kedah, they won back. Seats-wise, they lost 9 more seats. But they held the majority. Now, you can say that's because rural and all that, but you play the game. You must have a political strategy. You must look at the urban, rural seats and all that. So my question to you all is, why didn't it swing the other way? Why is it Anwar now looking around and saying, Alamak, what happened? How come I didn't? I thought I was going to win. Why didn't it happen?
Maybe I'll start with just some quick comments. Yes, Najib won. But the first thing I will say, at least to my mind, the dust hasn't settled yet on this election. If you look at what happened in 2008, after the March 2008 election, and what Malaysia went through from then until today, it's going to replay itself, but it's likely going to be even more intense because within UMNO, the big question is if there are moves, and I think somewhere along the line between now and 2013, I will be surprised if it's all quiet on the UMNO front. Najib is not going to give up. Rosma will not allow Najib to give up. So it might get a bit messy. That's the first point. And the second point is that Najib, he didn't get the popular vote. He's weak. He won, but he's in a very weak position. He's a man with ideas, no doubt. But he's going to be too preoccupied watching his back against both Mahathir and Anwar, who are very, very formidable opponents. And then you have the Daims and Muhyiddins and Zahids or whoever. But basically, within UMNO, he's got to watch his back. Outside of UMNO, Anwar, as we know, is a very ambitious person. He feels that he's been robbed. And I think that, and in fact, Anwar has made it clear that the fight is not over.
Yeah, the fight is not over, but the election is over.
Election is over.
Election
but-
over. That, I agree. So,
election is over.
Najib got the majority of the seats. He's back, you know, as PM.
So, but why? For me, the surprise was Sabah and Sarawak. The opposition thought they had made real inroads, but the mind of the Sabahans and the Sarawakians are quite different. They're a different breed from West Malaysians. They might relax, sit around coffee shops, you know, what Malaysia, Singapore was in the 50s. They did not get caught in this. They were quite happy. Sabah is by large a very rich state, and in Sarawak, time there under control. So they couldn't swing the Sabah and Sarawak vote, and that more or less saved Barisan.
I just want to take up on Ambassador Pati's thing in Sabah and Sarawak. I think Sarawak's going to be probably safe for PA for a while. But in Sabah, I see changes happening on the ground. If you look at the Keningau constituency, the vote for Biden's brother Jeffrey and the PKR amounts to 20,000 votes. Biden got 16,000. If there comes a time when they can keep all these spoilers at bay and PKR, once you signal to the people that you could be a viable alternative and people accept that, then I think it will start gaining traction, even in places like Sabah. Because already, you saw the results in the cities, right? I mean, they swung to the opposition. In interior areas, if the vote were not split, I think at least another 5 to 6 constituencies would have gone clearly for the opposition, including Biden. You know, Biden is considered the overlord of Sabah. What is that name for it? I mean, they call him
Chief.
They call him the
yeah, that's the official title for the president. Supreme leader.
Yeah, supreme leader. But Biden got 16,000. His brother got 12,000. The other fellow from PKR got 8,000. Imagine if Jeffrey was not there as a spoiler. And his party was clearly a spoiler in these 3 constituencies. You would have seen a pretty different result. You know, at least the majority would have come down. Sure.
No, that I accept. I think that Sabah, Sarawak swung it.
Yeah. One point, I've been covering elections from 1979, although not in Malaysia exactly. If I were to compare the powers of the election commission in, say, something like
Sri Lanka.
let's say India, for instance, which is really over-democratic in some ways. You know, once the elections are announced, the election commission takes over. You know. Everything except the nuclear button, they practically control. Then you cannot transfer officials. They will transfer police chiefs and all that at their whim, you know, if they think this fellow is unfair. The kind of pressure rising from the ground will make it inevitable for Malaysia to respond in some ways. They already have, thanks to Bersih. You might say that the indelible ink didn't work and all that, true, but at least now they've started the indelible ink. Next time you can't say we forgot to check the bottle. You know? So I think you know, probably that's the kind of pace that's good for Malaysia. You know, tsunamis can be quite devastating. But I think a few floods every few years, and you know, just learn to build embankments and make the country stronger. Essentially, I think it's important for all of us in this region to keep a very stable Malaysia. It has been one of the most stable countries, you know, around here, and you know, as much as Najib, in a sense, suffers from a legitimacy deficit, moral legitimacy deficit, thanks to this. Maybe it was not a bad result for Malaysia at the end.
Okay, let's have some questions from the floor.